Okay, so today is the lesson for Tuesday, 11/8 or 11/8/16. So of our new system and new schedule, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are past, present, and future. So Tuesday is the past. So we're going to review some things from any time before what you're presently working on in your class. So we're going to go order of operations today. Now, if you don't remember what order of operations are, or what order of operations is, maybe this will ring a bell. Okay, so PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So what this means is, okay, and I'll skip ahead a little bit. So if we're given something like this, okay, or maybe we're given something like this to work out, and we have a math problem to work, okay? Well, each one of these things are called an operation. They tell us what to do, how to operate. So they tell us actions to take. Well, there's a certain order that we have to do these actions in, or else we will not get the right answer. So PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or anything like that, is just a way to remember what order we do things in. So the P stands for these things. Now, what are these? These are parentheses. So anything inside these parentheses, anything in here, we do those before we do anything else, okay? If there's multiple parentheses, then we do what's in here first, and then what's in here first, and then we do all the stuff that's outside of those parentheses, okay? So that's what we do first. The second, exponents, okay? Now, this is 3 to the second power. This is an exponent, okay? And this is called the base. But we don't need to worry about that for now. We just need to know there's a way to evaluate 3 to the second power. So 3 to the second power is the same thing as 3 times 3, which is the same thing as 9. So if we were working one of our problems, let's see, we actually have 3 to the second power on one of the problems we're going to be working. So we would just evaluate that to 9, and that would be the first thing we would do for that problem. Okay? So that's for exponents. Okay? So once you're done with all your parentheses, you've done that, you've gotten rid of your parentheses, you've done everything inside, then you move on to any exponents. You go ahead and evaluate those exponents. Then multiplication and or division and or multiplication. Okay? Now, the reason that I didn't just write it like this, like you've probably seen it written, is because I don't want there to be any confusion. You work multiplication and division from left to right. You very well may multiply before you divide. Multiplication and division must all be done from left to right. So you can divide before you multiply, you can multiply before you divide, but you always do it left to right. The key thing to remember is you must finish all multiplication and division before you do any addition or subtraction, okay? Before you do any addition or subtraction, you must actually be finished with the parentheses, the exponents, all the multiplication and division, and then you can go on to any addition or subtraction you have. You save that for last. It is the same as multiplication and division in that it must be done from left to right. You could very well subtract before you add. okay, or you can add before you subtract. The main thing is just be done with everything else before you begin addition and subtraction. But they are always worked from left to right, and you'll see that in the problems we're about to work. Okay, so I'm just going to work these problems, and we may skip back and I'll show some number line things when we get down to the integers that we have to add up, because I know we're still working on that. So we look at problem A. We have no parentheses, so we don't need to worry about that. We have no exponents. We don't need to worry about that. Do we have multiplication or division? Yes, we have multiplication. We have multiplication right here. So we're going to do that first. So we do that operation, 3 times 5, 15. Okay, so now we're done. We're done with this. We've multiplied the 3 times the 5. We've done that operation. We bring everything else down. So 15 plus 7 is 22. So our answer is 22. Okay? B, we work the same way. We do 2 times 4 first, which gives us 8. We bring everything else down, and this is how I want to see you do your work. Rewrite the problem after every operation you do. Okay? 6 plus 8, 14. Okay? So, on to C. We've got multiplication. We've got addition. So what do we do first? Well, we go back to PEMDAS. Okay? We always go back to PEMDAS. So we've got multiplication and division, and we've got some addition. Well, this multiplication and division come first. So we must do it first. So we do 3 times 2 equals 6. Now we're done with all this. We've completed the 3 times 2, so we have no more need for the 3, the 2, the multiplication symbol. We're done with it. So we can go on and just add. Just bring down the rest of it. So 5 plus 6 is 11. You add 4 more to 11, you get 15. Okay? Now if I'm going too fast, feel free to stop, to pause, to rewind. If I'm going too slow, feel free to fast forward. These video lessons are made for you, so do whatever you need to do with them. Okay, so on to D. We've got addition and multiplication. We know we do multiplication first. 4 times 8, 32. We just bring down everything else. We've done one operation, so we just rewrite the whole problem. Now we just have a big long addition problem. 11 plus 7 is 18. You add 18 to 32, you're going to get 50. Okay? E, we've got multiplication and subtraction. We know by now we're doing multiplication first. 5 times 7 is 35. Bring down the negative sign into 4, or subtract 4. So we're done with these because we don't need the 5, we don't need the multiplication symbol, we don't need the 7, because all this means 35. So we're done with that. Okay? But we're not done with this. So we bring it down. 35 minus 4, 31. Okay? So on to F. 11 times 4, 44. Minus 9. So 44 minus 9, 35. Try it in your head, double check it in your calculator. That's the way you learn how to actually do things in your head. Make a guess, try to figure out some kind of way, some way to think about it, to do it in your head, and then check it at the calculator. Okay? That way you know you're getting them right. So this one is 35. Okay, on to the next one. So we've got subtraction and multiplication. We know we do multiplication first. We know 3 times 9, 27. Or if we don't know that, we type it in our calculator until we get everything memorized, which we're doing in this class. By the end of the year, we will know 3 times 9 is 27 every single time. We're done with these. We bring everything else down. So now, 8 minus 27 minus 6. We're going to do a little number line work here, so I'm going to back up and I'm going to rewrite this. Okay? So I've got a little room here to erase some of this. Okay. So this is the way I want us to think about this. Actually, let's go back. So we have 8 minus 7 minus 6. When you think about it on the number line, and if you're still struggling with problems like these, I want to see the number line. If you're not getting these right and you don't have the number line, you're doing the wrong thing. I will not give you full credit. So we're going to start at 8. And we don't need to count everything. We know that 8 is somewhere around here. Okay, we actually started at 0 and we added 8 because this is actually a positive 8. There's no sign, we know it's positive. So this is our starting point. Now we have to head 27 in this direction. Okay? Now if you think about it, if we're heading in this direction, 27, the length of our arrow right here is going to be 27. Well, to get back to 0, we have to use up 8 of our 27. Okay? So if we use up 8 of our 27 as we travel, okay, we're left with 19, which we still have to go, and we still have to go in this direction. Okay? So we're going to wind up about right here at negative 19. Now, we still have to subtract 6. Well, we're subtracting 6, which means we continue in the negative direction. 6 more places. Okay? Well, if we're already at negative 19 and we have to continue 6 more, that's going to look like negative 25. Be right here. So, that is the answer to that question. That's a negative 25. Okay? And I want you to start thinking in terms of the number line and using the number line until you get used to integers, which can take a while. But the number line, you cannot go wrong with the number line. Okay, on to H. 2 times 13. If we're working on maybe doing things in our head, I might say, well, I know 2 times 10 is 20, and I know 2 times 3 is 6. So can I just add 20 and 6 and get 26? Absolutely. 2 times 13 is 26. We just rewrite the rest of the problem. Again, 13 minus 5 minus 26. I'm just going to extend this. We're going to write the number line right here. If this is 0, we start at 13. Okay? We've got to head 5 in the negative direction. That's going to take us to 8. Okay? Now we still have to go 26 more in the negative direction. Well, if we're at 8 and we must travel 26 this way, we're going to use up 8 of our 26 to get back to 0. Okay? So as we use up that 8 of our 26 that we have to travel, by the time we get back to 0, we've got 18, we only have 18 more to go. So we travel this direction 18 more, which puts us at negative 18. So negative 18. Okay, so these we have before. I didn't notice any parentheses or exponents. Now we have both. So, but it's the same thing. We know we do parentheses first, so we do whatever is inside the parentheses before we go on to do anything else. Okay? So, 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 4 is 7. We just bring down our multiplication symbol because we've done everything that needs to be done with inside these, so they're finished. So, we're left with 8 times 7, 56. B, we have parentheses, so we do that first. 37 minus 2, 35. Now we're done with that. We must divide 37 35 by 7, which we know is 5, or will know is 5 very shortly, because we will have those memorized. Okay, on to C. 9 divided by 3. We know that's 3. And we know that's the bell. So 2 times 4 is 8. So 3 times 8, 24. 0.7 times 0.2. All we do is multiply. 7 times 2 gives us 14. We have one place after the decimal and then 2 places after the decimal. So we go 1, 2, so it's 0.14, what we end up with. Minus. Now this is 0.5 plus 0.3. Okay? So that is just 0.8. Alright, all we do, 0.5, 0.3, we line up the decimals, and then we just add. So we get 0.8 on that. So we have 0.14, or 0.14, excuse me, minus 0.8. Now you may think that 0.14 is bigger than 0.8. It is not. It is actually a lot smaller, because this can be written as 0.80. You can add as many zeros as you want. You could say, well, you could add a 0 over here if you wanted to. That would make it 140. But then you could add another 0 over here. So the first number determines which is bigger after the decimal. So 0.8 is a lot bigger, so we're actually subtracting 0.80 from 14. Okay? That gives us 0.66. Okay? Actually, negative 0.66. Excuse me. So that is your answer to that. And we may work some more on decimals and addition and subtraction and things like that. So, on to E. We have an exponent in this one. We have no parentheses, but we do have an exponent, and that exponent is 2. So 10 to the second power, or 10 squared, is 100. Because we know 10 squared is just 10 times 10, which is 100. All we have to do now, add 2. We have no multiplication or division, so we go straight to addition. So 102 is our answer. Okay, so F, we have parentheses. We have no exponents, but we do have parentheses, and we know that's first, so we just work parentheses from left to right. Even though you see multiplication in here, subtraction in here, it doesn't matter. Let's just do what's inside the parentheses. We'll just go from left to right. So 6 times 3, 18, divided by 9 minus 6, which is 3. 18 divided by 3, 6. So the answer to F is 6. On to G, no parentheses. We do have exponents. 3 to the second power is 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay, so we've evaluated that. We're done with that. We bring everything else down. 3 times 9 minus 1. Okay, we're going to run out of room here, but 3 times 9 is 27. Right? Okay, and we would be bringing it down, but in this case we're going to bring it over. So 27 minus 1 is 26. Okay. Go ahead and extend this out. Okay, so now a bunch of parentheses, but we're just going to work each operation inside the parentheses from left to right. So 10 divided by 2, that's 5. We bring down the plus sign. 24 minus 12, that's 12. We're going to bring down the multiplication sign. 3 plus 6 is 9. Now we're left with 5 plus 12 times 9. Each time we rewrite it, okay, we start all over with our order of operations. So we have addition and multiplication. Okay, so we have to multiply 12 times 9. If you're trying to figure out ways to do things in your head a little bit more quickly.
Ethan is in the data room. Teachers will throw lunch.
Okay, so go get some pizza if you want some. If you're trying to figure out ways to do things in your head, one way to think about this would be, okay, I know 10 plus 2 is 12, so I can say 9 times 10 is 90, and 9 times 2 is 18, so 90 plus 18 is 108. Or you can just punch it in the calculator, but a good habit to get into is try it in your head and then check it with the calculator. You'll find things get a lot easier and faster the more things you can do in your head. You don't have to be able to do everything in your head. You don't even have to be able to do a lot in your head, but it makes things easier on you in the long run. So we're just left with 5 plus 108, which looks like 113 when we finish with it. So that is our answer, and that is the review of order of operations. So good luck, and we'll see you next time.